Assalamu alaikum. Let us practice quadratic factorization. A quadratic equation is arranged in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. The first and most important thing for you is to determine which number represents a, which number represents b, and which number represents c. 3x squared, a will be 3, b is negative 11, and c is negative 4. We're going to factorize using the product, sum, and factor method. Our product is a times c, which is 3 times 4. Our 4 had a negative, so it will be 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. What is our sum? The sum is represented by b, and b was negative 11, so our sum is negative 11. When looking for factors, you look for two numbers which, when multiplied, give you the product, and when added, give you the sum. So which two numbers can give us 12 when multiplied? Let us try, for example, 1 times 12. If these two factors fail, we are going to use 3 times 4 or 2 times 6. But hopefully 1 and 12 shall satisfy the conditions required. So 1 times 12 is 12. How can we make it negative 12? Let us make one of these here negative. Let us say positive 1 times negative 12. How will that help us? 1 times negative 12 is negative 12, and 1 plus negative 12 gives us a sum of negative 11. So how do you use these two factors? You use them in place of negative 11x. Instead of negative 11x, I am going to say 1x minus 12x. So let us continue here. 3x squared plus 1x minus 12x minus 4 is equals to 0. The aim of arranging these letters and numbers like this was so that we can factorize this side on its own and this side on its own. Let us say we decided to factorize from this first step, 3x squared minus 11x minus 4. The only common factor we would get would be x, but then we wouldn't be able to factorize through the next steps. But once we have done this and found two factors, now we can factorize this side separately and this side separately, and our factorization shall be able to move to the next step. So 3x squared plus 1x, which common factor lies in between these two numbers? It is x. Pull x outside the bracket and then open the bracket. X into brackets, 3x plus 1 minus, between 12x and 4, which common factor do we have? We have 4. So 4 into brackets, 3x plus 1. Why? Because negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x, and negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. What about on this other side? X times 3x is 3x squared, and x times 1 is 1x. The good thing about this is that now we have a common bracket here and here. And once we have common factors, we can factorize further. So we keep a bracket here, and in this bracket we place 3x plus 1. And we open a bracket before it, and we place these two, x minus 4. Why did we do this? Because x times 3x plus 1 is this bracket, minus 4 times 3x plus 1 is this second bracket. So we have finished factorizing it. Remember that this quadratic equation ended with is equals to 0. Here also is equals to 0. Once we reach here, we can use what is called the zero product rule, which tells us that if a times b is equals to 0, then either a is 0 or b is 0. Why? Because whenever you multiply something by 0 is when you get 0. So taking this to be a and this to be b, either this is 0 or this is 0. How do we complete that? We shall say either x minus 4 is equals to 0 or 3x plus 1 is equals to 0. If x minus 4 is 0, what shall x be? You take this negative 4 and make it cross the bridge. Bring it to the other side, it becomes x is equals to positive 4. Or, what is our second answer? If 3x plus 1 is equals to 0, what shall x be? Take this positive 1, throw it to the other side, it becomes 3x is equals to, when positive 1 comes to this side, it becomes negative 1. Divide by 3 on this side, divide by 3 on this side, so that we can be left with x. And we shall see that x is equals to negative 1 over 3, or x is equals to 4. That is how you solve a quadratic equation using the factorization method. What important step should we consider? The most important step is finding factors that allow us to divide this central term into two parts. Once you divide it into two parts, you can factorize easily. And if you want to confirm your answers, take for example x is equals to 4 and substitute it into the original equation. 3 times 4 squared will be 3 times 16, which is 48, minus 11 times 4, which is 44. 48 minus 44 minus 4 shall give you 0. You shall realize that our x is equals to 4 satisfies this quadratic equation. In the same way, if you tried x is equals to negative 1 over 3 and you substituted it here, you will realize that it substitutes this equation being equals to 0. These equations are normally drawn on graphs. When x is 4 or x is negative 1 over 3 is when we have our solutions. Our graph shall cross the x-axis when x is negative 1 over 3 or when x is 4. That does not concern us for now. We just wanted to factorize and get our answers. This is our first answer and this is our second answer. Asantum.